This is Boomer Life on CL 650.
Well, we do like that. One of our guests is about to do the funky chicken right here in the studio if we don't turn that music off in a big hurry. It's Sterling Fox with you. Welcome back to Boomer Life here on CL 650. On this episode of the program, we're talking about retirement living with our guests from Revera Retirement Living. Kathy Russell is the executive director, of Revera's Hollyburn House on Marine Drive in West Vancouver. And Nicole Chandler is the very agile and musical lifestyle coordinator. We were talking earlier before we began the program, and we're talking about moving, the tremendous trauma in psychological, in many cases more than physical, of actually moving from that house. You were saying, Nicole, over a coffee before we began, that if the seniors in question have moved from that original family house, if they've already downsized into a condo or somewhere like that, it's much, much easier for those people then to move to a seniors retirement community because the real big move, the cord has been cut by them years before. So they're more mobile already, aren't they?
Yeah. Yep, definitely. They've made that big shift already. They're maybe already they're practical. They realized that the house was already getting to be too much, 15 years ago.
Right.
So they made that move to a townhouse or a condo, and they know it can be done. It's the folks that are still living in the family house that really it's such an overwhelming step.
Right.
And a huge hurdle, but it's a hurdle that can certainly be managed, can be overcome relatively easily. It's a lot of steps, and it's a lot of hand holding, but if you have the right folks in place, it can be a lot less overwhelming.
Well, I suppose too, Kathy, when it's your turn, it's all very well and good to sit back and listen to these stories on the radio about other people. Right. But when it's your turn to move out of your place and all that stuff that you've spent a lifetime accumulating, that suddenly, in many cases, and I know you hear this, is, what am I going to do with all my stuff? I couldn't possibly move. I mean, what? Come on now, get serious. So when you have that kind of initial reaction from someone whose boomer kids may have done the homework, may have been around, did the tour, and now it's time to bring mom or dad to the community and do what they just did. Have a walk around, meet some of the people, meet you and Nicole and so on. But mom's pretty dug in. She's not at all interested in moving away from that place it's been her sanctum for decades. Yeah. So how do you begin that conversation, Kathy, in order to get the person to realize that you do this every day?
That's right, and I think you sort of talked about that, just having them come in and see what we're all about, show them a suite. Our suites are quite large, so they can actually bring some of those valuable pieces to them that are important to them, that they can actually fit in the suites. We have some great resources as a downsizer, and they're fabulous, where they can work with the seniors and the family members saying, well, this can come, or helping them dispose of those items that they've collected all their lives.
Well, sure.
And so there, again, Nicole said that as long as a lot of hand-holding, and there are people out there that can help with the whole process.
Well, and that's really key, isn't it, Nicole? And how quickly into the process do you see fit to connect, shall we say, a reluctant senior with an experienced, very capable professional downsizer who can just make that process so smooth? At what point do you, because you have to connect those people. Okay.
Very quickly.
Right.
Often we find when a family is working with another party, a downsizer company, we find that it goes just that much more smoothly. Okay. You can imagine a mother and daughter looking at boxing up some items and that headbutting going on. When you have another person coming in and assisting with that, you don't have that same emotional piece that you often do with families. I mean, I know it with my own family. You know, we are way more comfortable being objecting to things and confrontational when it's our own family.
Sure.
So having that other party, and they have just such a wonderful, soft way of working with it, understanding what pieces can go, repurposing pieces, understanding that this is going to be someone's home and making it home, getting that artwork up on the walls and okay, that piece has to come. Okay, well, then we need to look at these other pieces.
Well, and I think Kathy's point, too, about, well, you know, you're not moving into a cubicle or a phone booth for crying out loud. You get an apartment. Now, Nicole, when I was up there, Kathy and Nicole and I had lunch with a couple of residents, but Nicole, Kathy, took me on a tour.
Oh, right.
And I was up into one of the one-bedroom apartments, and it's really spacious.
Definitely.
And really lovely. So it's not some little tiny space. Now, mind you, if you live up in the properties and you got 6,000 square feet and a view of half the world, anything's going to be small. But realistically, it's very roomy. And you could. I was surprised at how much. I was just trying to think. Well, I could put the couch here. I could put that over there. You start doing this as soon as you walk into an empty space. Well, how could I fill this space? Right. I was surprised, Nicole. I could put a lot of stuff in that apartment.
You can, and the fact of the matter is, when I'm working with a family, I'm working with one of my new residents or somebody that's looking to make a move, where in that 3,000 square foot house are they actually living? What spaces are they actually using?
Back to the woman I was talking about earlier.
Exactly.
She's got a 3-story house. She lives on the middle floor because she can't go up or downstairs. So the square footage that she lives in, maybe 1,000. It's a nice big home, but she doesn't live in all of it anymore.
Yeah, exactly. So it's sort of reminding someone of that they're probably not using the 3 extra bedrooms and the den and the 2 other baths, which, you know, we run into. But it's a very traditional apartment at Hollyburn House, very spacious. You saw one of my smallest suites.
Oh, is that right?
And there's lots of room. I find when a family or a potential new resident walks into one of the rooms, one of our suites, I often hear
Yeah, exactly. That was certainly my reaction. Look at this,
yeah,
I said.
Exactly.
I walked in, well, look at this, I said to Nicole. This is great.
Yeah.
So talk to us a little bit about what the downsizer does. When we've been lucky here on Boomer Life because our friends at Revera have introduced us to a couple of downsizers over the years, and they're really important players in this seniors relocation business. Whether you're moving from the house to a condo or to a seniors community, and you're in your advanced years, you can't do all of this yourself. And if your family's living in Saskatchewan or Ontario, they're no help whatsoever. So you need a pro. And so these people come in, and I know one of the services that they were able to tell us about before was they'll take the floor plan of the apartment that you're looking at, go over to your house, and you, Nicole, go to their houses with them, and you say, okay, so the couch would fit here. And so if you want to keep this buffet, then of course, well, keep it. It'll fit.
Yep.
So the idea is to not make all of those years of accumulating stuff appear to be an exercise in futility.
That's right.
It was a lifetime of accomplishment, and you want to keep some of the real pieces to take with you.
And it also allows the resident the opportunity to keep things in control.
Sure.
Right? All the control's not being taken away, and I think part of that process that's a fear. Is that things are being taken away. Independence is being taken away. My stuff's being taken away.
Sure.
And it's just reinforcing that. No, you can bring these things. Let's just figure out how it's going to work. So the moving companies, oh my gosh, they make life so much easier.
Right.
I mean, on moving day, we see such a huge difference in our families, not only the resident, but our families who are making that move. I mean, you go out for lunch, you come back to Hollyburn House, and your things are all in your suite. All your items are in your suite. I always say your spoons are in the drawer, your shirts are in the closet.
Okay.
And you arrive and have a glass of wine in the lounge and head in for dinner.
Relax.
And you're home.
And yes.
You're home. Yeah.
Hollyburn House is on Marine Drive in West Vancouver between 20th and 21st Streets, right across from the West Vancouver's Public Library main branch. Kathy Russell is the boss. She's the executive director at Revera's Hollyburn House, and Nicole Chandler is lifestyle coordinator. They are my guests on this episode of Boomer Life, and we shall continue after a quick timeout.
Celebrating the baby boomer lifestyle. This is Boomer Life on CL 650.